Right
Right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Because it's time to write now.
Right now.
Right now.
All right, my friends, welcome to a Monday update stream. I'm about to go into the writing sprint update. We have some huge updates for you today, and we actually have a lot. We're going to be chatting about weekly updates, some new, make sure I got it all queued up, our brand new YouTube channel updates, book club, the Discord, and Faded Fantasy. So make sure you stick around because we got a lot to share with you today. Welcome to the stream. Kaufman, dragons, all that jazz. So welcome, my friends. I will give everyone a few minutes to gather into the stream. And in the meantime, how was your Monday? How's the Monday going for everyone? Hopefully. We're like, oh, wow, I realized I did this stream without actually pulling up chat into it. So let me pull the chat box up and we'll do this. Perfect. It's funny. Sometimes Mondays are like super crazy, and sometimes Mondays are so slow and chill. Today was not one of those slow and chill days. So I'm like always something and another, but so happy to be able to see that. And Courtney, thank you. Huge congratulations. Courtney, thank you for upgrading your membership. And you're like, wait, what? Upgraded membership? Well, we're actually going to be getting into this in just a bit. This will be one of our huge updates to come. So I'll be talking about the YouTube channel membership because let me tell you, we're having a YouTube channel membership update / refresh, whatever you want to name it. So we got quite a lot. So that way I can make sure I try to stay on time with my Kaufman schedule. I'm going to pull up our weekly update and let's get the weekly update queued up. So as you guys can see what we got going on this week, the first week of May. Yesterday was May the 4th. I wish that I told more people May the 4th be with you, and I missed out. And now we are already on Cinco de Mayo. Let me fix this. I try to get that. I was like, I don't know if you guys need to see me that badly. We'll just do this as Kaufman feels like messing around with the stream today. Okay, so as you guys can see, this is our layout. This is what we got going on for this week. We have some fun stuff going on this week. So not only do we have our weekly stream schedule, and we got all of that lined up, we have a bunch of writing sprints. This week, I'm really hoping that I'm going to be able to get a little bit more work writing on my own book. Last week, I did a lot of admin, so fingers crossed that we can actually be a little bit more consistent. Fingers crossed if all goes well and according to plan. So as you can see, the times are a little bit more all over the place. My schedule in May just sucks, so I'll put that out there for all the right reasons. I'm very happy with my schedule, but for all the right reasons. So tomorrow, we're going to be doing one of our earlier streams, early writing sprint tomorrow. And then obviously Wednesday is our normal writers group. Wow, we're going to be hitting 50, meeting 50 soon, actually, which is super crazy. I want to say this week we will be at meeting 45. Man, that'll be so cool. And then Thursday, we got some exciting YouTube channel membership stuff going on. I'll be touching upon the YouTube channel membership in just a moment. I'll come right back to that. And then we have our writing sprints Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with the brand new launch of Write Chat. So for those of you who don't know, we are doing this really cool new thing in the community, and we're going to be talking about that in just a few minutes. So that way we can give you guys more options to write now, right? So the more times and the more flexibility we have to be able to write more consistently, maybe try to keep ourselves accountable, the more it is always a win. So awesome. And I see everyone coming into the chat. Good. So good to see everyone here today. Happy Monday. Hope the Monday vibes are treating you well. Hopefully you don't have a case of the Mondays. And let's see. ML, Calvin, Courtney. So great. Of course, Adrian in here. Marietta. And and Christina. So good to have everybody here in the stream, especially because we got a lot to talk about today. We got a lot. I've realized, I remember thinking last week, I'm like, I felt like I just like rambled for an hour, but it's like we have updates for everything. So this is that time of the year when things are crazy for all the right reasons. So let's see, getting straight into it. You guys saw what the schedule is like this week. And just so you know, starting from Sunday into next week, I'm going to be traveling out of town. So when I travel, stream times are TBD. So that way I can actually, it's kind of hard to schedule stream times when with like travel arrangements and all that jazz sometimes. So a little bit more TBD on the times. But Kaufman is not going to stop streaming. I'm almost at 500 days. Let me tell you, 500 days, a few weeks away. We'll have a huge celebration. Maybe Kaufman will have a huge celebration if he has the energy for it. We'll see what that looks like. No, actually, I do have something cool planned. So outside of that, let's get into our first update. So super exciting. And let me pull this up onto the stream. All right. So the first thing that I'm so proud to be able to officially launch and introduce to you is the refreshed YouTube channel membership. And let me see if I can pull this up. Perfect. Pull up the cool banner. So we are doing a complete refresh for the YouTube channel membership. And I'll even give us let's see, we'll give us the right now background for that cool thing there. Awesome. So this is now, for those of you guys who don't know, we've had the YouTube channel membership for a while. Basically, this is a way for you to support the community or be able to get extra things that we're doing in the community. So as of today, we've officially launched the third brand new tier of the YouTube channel membership. So of the 3 tiers that we have available, I was like, I'll see if it lets me zoom in. I was like, you don't need to see that. Kaufman's going to be updating this video soon. So we have 3 tiers now. So starting with the first tier, we have our Right Now Writer tier. This is for $4.99. And this is a great way if you just want to support the community. You get the icons, the emojis, and you get access to the channel member only live streams, of which right now we're doing a couple a month. The last one we did was how to write flash fiction. So like if you want access to know like more things, we've done an editing one, we've done author tubing. So we've done a number of them so far, and more are going to be coming on the horizon. So that's a great way to support the community. Now, for those of you who already know about the Right Now Critique group, I was like, see if I can make this a little bigger. For those of you who already know about the Right Now Critique group, our second tier will now officially be called the Right Now Critique member. This is for those who want to get access to our once a month channel members critique group. Everybody who's joined it has gotten so much value out of the critique group itself. Basically, you bring your stories, you read it aloud, and you get feedback, not just from myself, but everybody in the group. We've been running it now, I think, since December or January, and every single time we have a good turnout. Everybody says that it helps them out a lot. So the critique group member is a really, really great way if you want to get some feedback, but you also like aren't able to go like too expensive for like some like pricey critique group out there. A lot of higher price critique groups, like Real Talk, charge way more for this type of thing. Let me tell you, this like type of things usually charge at like hundreds of dollars, which I'm always so surprised by that. So that's our second one. And then we've now launched the brand new third part of the third tier. So the third tier is now the Right Now Student tier. This is a brand new tier that's going to give you access to a coaching session, open office hours. So essentially what this is going to be a twice a month open office hours, and I'll pull myself up here so you guys can see me. So essentially what this is going to be is this is going to be an open office hours. Now, originally, I wanted to do it as one-on-one coaching sessions, but apparently that goes against YouTube's community guidelines. So my next best bet is an open coaching office hours. Essentially what I want to do is I want to make coaching more accessible to you, because I recognize coaching can be expensive. Getting help with your writing, paying for the book editing, paying for the cover design, paying for all the things, it costs a lot of money. And I realize my hourly rate is not always easily affordable for all writers, especially those who are on a budget. So what I've done is I've basically dropping it down to a discounted rate for channel members, and you get access to 2 office hours. Now you can show up. This will not be live stream, so you don't have to worry about it being in front of a live audience. But basically it will be a closed private group for channel members only. So channel members who are at this category, this tier of the Right Now student can show up. They'll be able to hop on with me and we'll have a coaching session. And essentially you'll be able to learn from the other, from any other channel members who show up to these coaching sessions. It's going to feel kind of like a cross of like a one-on-one coaching session, but then you'll also be able to learn from others. And let me tell you, when I see other content creators do this, it's like it teaches me so much. I think this is actually a really good model and it's a proven model for a reason. But I'm not at this time planning on recording or re-uploading it because I want channel members to feel comfortable if they want to have coaching sessions that don't get put live online. So I really wanted that to be an important thing. This coaching session, open office hours, will happen twice a month. Will be updated at the beginning of the week when you guys get the schedule and the announcements. And now this third tier is a little bit more money. It's priced at $29.99. And the reason being is because my hourly rate is much higher. And essentially, you're going to be able to get more time. Even at this $30 tier, it's discounted from what I would even charge for a half hour. So I'm trying to make it as accessible as possible while still valuing my time and not going too low for what I generally charge with my other clients. So I would highly recommend, if you're wanting more coaching service or if you're wanting like feedback on your stories, you could bring your story and we could spend the time talking about your story. Now, anybody who signed up to the Right Now student will be able to either bring their story and we could talk through your story. This is perfect for Faded Fantasy members. Maybe you're like, hey, I want help on my Faded Fantasy story. You could bring that. I'm going to make sure that every member gets an equal, appropriate amount of time based on however many members are at this tier. So this is a brand new thing. Highly recommend, especially for those who are like wanting help with Faded Fantasy. This is a really great thing. Originally, I wasn't even going to launch this till a little later on to me, but because I've had so many requests, and let me tell you, I've had so many requests for help and feedback with the Faded Fantasy stories. I was like, all right, I'll launch it early. We'll see how it goes, and we will test it out. So it's officially now. That is what we got for the new Right Now student channel member tier. Let me know if you have questions. I'm partially paying attention to chat. So let me go check on chat. Let's see. Oh, you guys cracked me up, Cordy. Your comment makes me laugh. Like, Kaufman is my writing music with some Russian trap music on top. You're like, you know what? Who wants to hear who wants to hear other videos? We'll just hear Kaufman yap about riding in dragons sometimes. Russian heavy metal with Kaufman, wah dragons, scarecrows, wah. I know how this goes. I appreciate you guys. Oh man, I absolutely love it. So for those of you guys who want to know more, or let's say you guys just want to go check out the YouTube channel membership perks yourself, I will drop this in the chat. Just like I think, let's see, did I remember? Okay, well, maybe not. Okay, so I'm going to drop this in the chat for YouTube channel membership, new YouTube channel membership tiers. Perfect. Just drop that in the chat so you can go check it out yourself. So right now the prices are, let's see, let me see. I love the feedback. What are the prices? Also can be bundled and save like progressive. Yeah, so Mass, this is a great question. Each tier that you get all the previous benefits. So the $4.99 tier, which is the Right Now Writer tier, you get the icons, the emojis, and the member-only live stream. The next tier is the critique member tier. That's $9.99. You get everything from the $5 tier, and you get access to the critique group. And then the third tier, the $29.99, $30, you get access to the bi-weekly coaching session office hours, and access to the monthly critique group, and all the icons, emojis, and the members only live streams. So, woo! All right, I'm like super excited about it. I'm like, dang, this was the vibe. Okay, so if you guys want to ask more, drop a question. I would be happy to answer that. But we got a lot to chat about, so let me get right into our next update. Where are we at now? Perfect. So we're actually on time. I just think that I'm like behind because there's so much to talk about today. Let me know if any of you have questions about the YouTube channel membership. If you want to become a YouTube channel member, whether you just want to support the channel at that $4.99 tier, or you want more dedicated services, drop a comment, ask questions. I'm here for you. All you have to do is you can follow that link or click the join button down below this YouTube live stream or any YouTube right now video. All money that's made through the YouTube channel membership program, so anything that gets made through it, I basically just reinvest it into advertising for all the Right Now stuff. And it's my goal to keep growing the Right Now community. The thing I would like to get is more banners and more cool emojis and things for the Discord. It's like on my horizon. So many things, right? So that's really where all money comes in from this. And then even recognize that, like, okay, so even with the tiers, 30% gets taken out by YouTube. And then there's an additional 20% that I then have to take out of taxes. So it's really like doing it through YouTube is like 50% off of what's charged. So, okay. And I always think that is good to know. And I think without further ado, so with channel membership aside, what's up, Drowning? Welcome. Love to see everybody here in the chat. I always love seeing new writers in the chat as well. All right, perfect. And all right, I just want to make sure I'm not missing any questions. Okay, so because there are so many, if you have a question, just put question in front. For anything moving forward, put a question in front of it so I don't accidentally miss anything, because I know we have so much to talk about and I will just miss it. So with that being said, we're going to be moving right along. And for anybody who's just hopping into the stream, welcome. Today's our update stream where we talk about all the things going on with the Right Now community. So we're next going to be hopping into the Read Now book club, and then stick around because we have a brand new update for the Right Now Discord. We have new updates for the Discord, and then we're going to be doing a Q&A for a Faded Fantasy competition after that. So make sure to stick around. Okay, so without further ado, let me bring up some wonderful faces who you are familiar with, because it's impossible for me to yap about books by myself. So without further ado, let me welcome our wonderful book club director, Miss Courtney, and our other wonderful reading co-host, Mr. Adrian Santiago. Welcome, my friends.
Yo, what's up? I was muted. Sorry. Hi.
Adrian, the number of times I'm talking for a few minutes, only for the chat to tell me I've been muted.
Oh, dude, I've done that so many times. It's so frustrating, especially when you're like going and going and going for a long time without glancing at the chat, and they're all just
That
screaming
happened.
at you.
I remember I was doing a YouTube live stream, and I think I went for like 5 minutes until I actually checked the chat and I realized. I'm like, oh, God, I have to say all that
I
again.
honestly, I don't know if I'm exaggerating it in my memory, but I feel like I went 20 minutes once.
Oh,
It was either so significant that I think it's 20 minutes, or I actually went 20 minutes of just straight talking to just dead air. It's like
like, I don't know if
exhausting.
it's better or worse that nobody saw it, or maybe it's just in our minds. It's like the worst thing possible.
And here's
Well,
the
luckily
thing.
Kaufman keeps his Discord notifications on. I just hope he looks at it. So, like, if that ever happened to Kaufman, I would immediately go into Discord if you're not looking
You
at
know
the
what,
chat and be
Courtney?
like, yo, you're muted.
That
Oh,
has
good.
definitely happened to me before.
It saves you
Sometimes I check
hassle.
Discord and sometimes I don't. It kind of just depends on where my mind's at for the day. But I do need to be better about it. Yeah, it just depends. There's been times where I've like been doing technical things with the stream, and then like I get off and like an hour later I check Discord and I'm like, yeah, that would have been good to know an hour ago.
Thanks for the heads up. I didn't read.
Oh man. Oh yeah, Mast. I appreciate you. Like and describe. It is so easy. Even a caveman can do
Describe.
it. Like
Or
and
he it
subscribe.
was a mistake. He fixes it.
Woo. I was okay. I was like, describe how you're going to subscribe. There we go.
Yeah, he fixes
We're
that.
writers. We have to
He's on
we
the
have to take
insurance
it.
logo kick.
And it looks like we're having some actually really great questions about editing and writing and story developing.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
We're having some good ones. Okay, so Maddie, welcome to the stream, by the way. And
Oh,
further ado, let's talk about the book club. So we're making some adjustments to the book club itself. For those of you who missed out, last month we had an incredibly awesome author allow us to use their book. We went on quite a journey through the realm of Gaia, and it was quite an adventure.
Did you ever go back and finish the scene or the chapter for yourself? Because having read the first novel, I was curious your thoughts on the rest of it. But
I failed it. Nope, I didn't. I wish I had actually.
all right.
I actually thought that when I was going into the reading on the critique
We're
show.
all
I'm like,
human, man. It's okay.
oh my goodness,
Nope,
I feel like I've
nobody's
missed out on probably the best part of the story.
It does get better, but it's okay.
You know what? It's with my strategy with trying to read the books. I think I push all my reading into 1 or 2 nights. So I'm like, all right, if I can get through it, I get through it. But we might have some more ways to help the community with reading and being more consistent. So let's talk about some of the changes that are coming that we're adjusting to the book club. Courtney, I'll kick it over to you to kind of touch on some of these things that we're changing for this month, anyways, like logistically.
Yeah, so for this month, we have revamped the Discord section for the Read Now. It's no longer behind private. Everybody can access it.
Mm-hmm. Woo! I was like, that's a good thing. Everyone can. You're all now Read Now members.
Yeah. Make sure that if you want to be tagged in things, that you go to pick a role and make your role a Read Now member. We changed the welcome to a chat so that if you want to talk about reading, but not necessarily about the book that we're discussing, you got this cute new cup that you want to show off that you use for when you're reading, or new comfy blanket, by all means, that's the place for it. And then we still have the discussion for the book itself in that section.
Mm-hmm.
We also have a new section that was Adrian's input. That is the Read Now fanfic section.
Ooh, Adrian, you kind of want to talk about that a little bit and tell us kind of what
Yeah.
you were thinking with fan fiction?
Yeah, so the idea is, we're a community of authors and writers, and specifically your community, from what I can tell, gears a lot of attention towards new writers and first time authors. And with that in mind, we're doing a book club where we're reading books by other indie authors. And if that's not a learning opportunity, I don't know what is, right? So the idea being, we, for example, in this month are reading romance. I have romance subplots in my stories. There is a lot that I can learn from a straight up romance author. And so the idea is by the end of having read this book, I should be able to write a romance, uh, flash fiction piece or short story or something. And if I can do it in fan fiction style, set in, for example, the book that we're reading, or something similar, however, the inspiration strikes us, then even better. And so I just thought that it would be a great place for us to all share our stories that we write inspired by the books that we read in this book club, showcasing the skills that we are learning by reading these books through this book club. And then we can, maybe share some standout stories on the streams. It might be fun. Eh, who knows? We might read a fan fiction set in the book of an author during the author's interview. It could be very flattering.
Wait, what?
or
We might read somebody's fan fiction on the stream if during the interview.
yeah, who knows? Why
Yeah,
not?
and we also might let the author give you feedback on their thoughts on if
Ooh,
you have
I
your
would love that.
fanfic take place in their story.
Dang. So you're saying that if I could ever get my book, The Last Scarecrow, read in the book club, that I could have everybody write Scarecrow fan fiction?
Yeah, if they wanted to.
Or what if there was a story that we already read? Like, what if I'm like, you know what? What if Miggs and Lear? What if I wanted some more fan fiction about some other potential relationships in the world
Or
of Nick?
Devin. What if you really like Devin's story and you wanna go and be besties with Devin?
Right? I'm like,
Maybe
or what if the two worlds collided? What if we had like all these like creature like, you know what? The fan fiction is endless. The possibilities are endless.
Multi-
So we will open up the fan fiction for any book that we've previously done. Maybe you got super inspired, or you're like, what if? And I think that's the coolest thing. And like Adrian said, I think the goal is like we want to give you more chances to write. We want to give you guys more opportunities. And if you get super inspired, or let's say maybe you don't even get the chance to read through the full book, but there's like a scene that really like
yeah,
speaks to your passion. You're like, hey,
dude, that's a great point because I mean, think about something like Reservoir Dogs
mm-hmm,
by Quentin Tarantino. That movie exists because he saw a scene in a movie and he was like, I can take that scene and turn it into an entire movie,
mm-hmm,
and that's what he did.
mm-hmm,
So, the inspiration comes from where it comes from,
mm-hmm,
and having a place for us to share these, fanfic stories that can be pretty cool.
mm-hmm,
Um,
Yeah.
Again, showcasing what we're learning from what we're reading. But like you're saying, the possibilities are endless because I mean,
mm-hmm.
we've covered my book last month. I could then write a fan fiction. So, well, I don't know if it would even qualify. I could write a story set in my world, but it would be a straight up romance because of what I'm learning this month from our
Mm-hmm.
romance book. And so I could write like a flash fiction romance set in my world from what I learned from that other book. Like there's no rules. Like learn
I
from the
know
book
that,
and,
and I think that's what I
write something
love.
fun.
So like because
Yeah.
I know this month is romance month, and we're reading
Yep.
Emma Bennett's book,
Or
her
whatever.
Her
perfect
perfect
hero.
hero. Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, well, what if there was magic or dragons? What if I just wanted to put a dragon? All right, guys, if you guys start seeing fan fiction with dragons, you guys already know who wrote it.
Or who
I'm
needs
like, all
brownie
right, that'll
points in the
always be my
coffin.
question. What if there was a dragon? That will always be my shtick.
Did you guys catch the dragon in Shadow of the Spark?
There was a
No.
dragon in Shadow of the Spark.
There's
Oh
a
my
little one.
goodness, was it like an Easter egg?
The kind of an Easter egg. Yeah, there's a
What
little one. I'm
scene?
gonna do some. So, when in chapter 5, when Mitch and Serena are on Gaia and they're walking through the woods, and there's like this serpentine, creature that comes out of the
I
tree
think
and
I
it like
did.
floats.
I think I did. I just didn't make a
It's
note of
like
Yeah,
it.
I remember all like
but
the animals and the creatures. I think I probably looked over it, or I just assumed it was some type of like animal that I just didn't know yet.
yeah,
Oh,
it
it's
was
actually
it
kind of
was
cool.
he's my little like dragon plant that I'm going to do stuff with later on, but he's just there in that one scene so that later I can be like, "Hey, remember?" Like, he's
Speaking of our book club, welcome Miss Emma Bennett into the chat. Emma, thank you for letting us peruse your book for the month of May as we experience Romance Month, and we're going to be trying out all the fan fiction. So Emma, if you see a fan fiction with scarecrows and dragons and Mr. Darcy, you'll know why. Maybe a cat dragon. That's what we'll do. I'll do a cat dragon. What if there was a cat and a dragon fell in love? All right, the possibilities are on this. I'll start spiraling.
But
So,
while we're in the beginning of May, make sure everybody who wants to be a part of the book club this
mhm,
month can go pick up Her
mhm.
Perfect Hero. It's on
yeah.
Amazon, and I'll grab the link. 'Cause-
Yeah, I got
Perfect.
my copy on my Kindle and I'm
Mhm.
going to begin reading tonight actually.
Excellent. And then so outside of the flash fiction and so outside of the flash fiction, which is super cool, we're also making a few adjustments and tweaks to the way that we're doing the frequency and the consistency of the interview and the discussion itself and reading. So we're going to be offering you guys more opportunities to read alongside us. We're going to be setting up a more weekly reading sprints so that way you guys have times to read the books with us. So we're going to be creating more opportunities there, both in the live stream and on the Discord. So we're definitely going to be doing some super cool things, and we'll come back to our Discord update in just a second because that aligns a little bit up with Discord. But as it for book clubs, I can say that we are doing many more opportunities because we want to try to help incentivize all of you to come read with us, and plus myself, I need more time to read, so I think that's definitely a win. We are. Oh yeah,
one more point I wanted to make. If you guys signed up for the form to be a book club member, then you already got the email this morning. But all updates and announcements and anything for Read Now is now going to be moved to the WriteNow newsletter. So make sure you're signed up for that.
Yeah. So anybody who's signed up for the Art of Writing, you guys we'll see. We'll send out we'll send out book club updates through the newsletter. It kind of just made sense for them to go hand in hand and trying to create a whole nother thing since it's really a community. The book club is like a community thing. So Richard, great question. Let me drop the newsletter. All right, and here you go, Richard. There's the Art of Writing newsletter. Yeah, I mean, you get a lot with the newsletter. You get an editing tool. You get the weekly writing articles, techniques, tips, and then you also get the live streams for the WriteNow community. And then you'll get things like with the book club as well. So the book club is going to be a whole nother thing that we're adding onto the newsletter. Awesome. And then we're also going to be adjusting our consistency. We're trying things out. Once again, guys, we're only going into our 3rd month with the book club. So we're always trying things out to see like, how do you want to engage with it between the interview, the discussion, and so on and so forth. So moving forward with the discussion, we're really going to be trying to ask ourselves, how can we frame the discussion in a way where we are learning as writers as compared to learning as readers? Because the reading aspect is actually absolutely important. And there's a lot of conversations for the reading experience, especially in the Discord. But the question we ask ourselves is, we've read the book. How do we grow from it? What is the thing that we learn so we can take it back within our own writing? So we're going to be continuing to evolve our discussion. And then we're probably going to be pushing the interview and the live discussion closer together, whether that is at a closer proximity or whether we are doubling it up in one live stream will be a TBD as we work with the authors in the months to come. So we want to make things more accessible. We want to give you guys more time to read. We want to make the things easier for you to read, easier for you to interact with, and more for you to be able to write. Because let's face it, this is a book club for writers. And that's ultimately our goal. So let's see, did we get any questions in there? I was like,
yeah, Cheryl was asking, I'm signed up for the newsletter, but is the book club free too? And I just want to point out that the book club has always been free. It's only been the cost of the book has only ever been the thing for the book club, and we have a cap at the price of the book. So
yes, that is correct. So great call out. And then we work with authors who bring the books in. Some authors will be able to get the book for free for periods of time. Other authors we won't be able to. It just depends on the author, right? So if there are ways for us to make the book free and available for book club members, which is really anybody who's in the WriteNow community, we will try to do so. But we can't guarantee that because there's so many logistical things outside of it. Yeah. So, but that's a good call. Anybody can be in the book club. But in terms of the book, having to pick up a copy versus paying for it will depend on the book that we're doing for the month.
Right. And
So-
Her Perfect Hero is on Kindle Unlimited. So if you already have that, then it is free. And then it's
it's
also
on Kindle Unlimited. Okay, perfect. So anybody who has the monthly Kindle subscription basically gets it for free then.
right. And then
Okay.
it's $3.99 if you do not. So it's
Mhm.
still with under that cap that we set for it. So
Yeah, and I mean for any readers out there, like $3.99, like you would literally spend twice that on like a cup of coffee at Starbucks, and that
yeah.
Starbucks coffee will last you for 20 minutes. Like this book, the memories that you will experience with Mr. Darcy will last you a lifetime.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Emma's book. My last read of hers was a very cozy little read. You know, good vibes. I'm here for it.
Yeah,
I'm
I am too. And like, I'm not even a romance reader, but I'm looking forward to pushing myself outside of my reading comfort and trying new things. I actually used to do a lot more romance back in the day. I think I read the whole Highlander series back in the day. I did way more romance stuff actually, but I think I did more supernatural. Can't remember.
Yeah.
Brings me back.
I all Most of my romance intake is usually it's as a subplot in something else, right? So like it's
Mhm,
never like the main focus. It's just like a part of a grander story.
mhm.
Um, so the very few times that I've read something that's straight up a romance, it's for a book club or something like this. So it's nice to step out of your comfort zone and do something a
Mhm.
little different.
And then I know Richard asked, "Are they spicy books?" Do either of you guys know? Are they spicy?
This one is not.
Um,
I don't
yeah, I was gonna
believe
say I
so.
don't. I
Emma-
believe this one wasn't.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think it is. I don't think Emma's is, but I wasn't searching on that. Great question. Richard asked, the book we're doing Emma's book for May? Is it spicy? No, it is not. So it is clean for anyone to read. Perfect. So we have to move right along. Adrian, thank you for joining us today, my friend. Thank you for
My
helping us out with the book club. And you guys are going to be seeing more of this guy here because we're going to be working on getting you guys some more times to read with us. So
Yeah, we're gonna do some reading streams. We're gonna plan out the times, and we'll get back to you guys on like a set schedule.
mhm,
But yeah, I want to get some reading streams going.
mhm.
Back on my reading quota. I've slowed down.
How
You
many
got
books do you have to get
52
this year?
books.
I'm trying to read 52 books this year,
How many
and
books have you gotten so far?
I've read 15.
Dang, that's
And for
good. Dang, I thought you were gonna be like, I've read like two. You're like, you
uh,
literally have 10 more books, and we're not even halfway through the year yet.
Yeah. Well, no, 52 books in a year. The goal was a book a week. And
Mhm,
there were some weeks where the book I was reading was much shorter, so I was able to get two, maybe
mhm.
even three books in that one week. But then other weeks where, I'm reading like a Stormlight Archive novel, it takes me like 2, 3 weeks to read that.
That's counted as
And
like three
then
books.
I'm behind. Yeah, but
You gotta, you
Because
gotta,
I know. Trust me, I
you
know.
gotta bank the
Adrian,
small ones for
those are the
the
types of
stress.
books I would read. I would read the 1,000
yeah,
plus page novels. So I understand that.
yeah. Like right now, my favorite novel right now that I read last year is the third book in the
Sanderson one.
Mistborn series. Yeah, the Hero of Ages. This book
Yeah, I
wrecked
was hear how good. It's
wrecked.
surprisingly the only Sanderson book I've read was The Wheel of Time.
Oh, right on. That
Been
makes
on my
sense. Like if you
it's been on my
with all
to
time.
do list though to read some of his stuff. But on that note, we're
All
gonna
right.
move right along. Adrian, thank you so
Peace out,
much.
guys. Thank
Bomb.com.
you. Later.
All right, my friends. So we're going to be moving right along to our Discord update because we have some huge updates in the Discord. And then make sure if you have questions for Faded Fantasy, we're going to be doing a Faded Fantasy Q&A in just a little bit, but it would be impossible for us to chat about Discord with everybody's favorite. Let me welcome the word count master of the community, Chatzel. Welcome, my friend.
Hey guys.
Down to the word count master over here. So how you doing today, my friend?
Not bad, not bad. Trying to look at the final piece for my PC, and it's still expensive, but I might be able to get it. So
It's like when we want that thing and we're like, can we afford it? No. but will we
Well,
make
hey,
it
it's either
work? We
600 or
will.
2,000, so
Oh man!
How about
But
the
I think
2000?
I
It'll
think
last
what you
longer. It pays off at the end, right?
it will, and I mean
yeah,
especially like
no,
also
it
with the
definitely will.
quality.
If I get this piece, I get to start my
Mhm.
company finally and make my games and do everything else I want. But without it, I can't even I can't do crap basically.
Yeah, I remember when actually this goes back into I remember when I first started. So right actually after I had right before I was about to quit the day job, quit Starbucks, my old computer that I had broke down completely. And I'd already given my 2 weeks and I was like already like I was like, "Ugh, now I have to get a new computer too after I'd like just done this transition. And I was going to a
Wait,
lifestyle where I needed a computer, especially if I was going to be streaming. So I ended up investing in like the highest end like laptop that I could because I knew, right, I'm gonna literally use it every day for the rest of my life. That's how
Yep.
long it will last me.
Yep, that's what I'm doing with mine. I'm building my PC because I
Mhm.
want it to last forever and well, hopefully it will.
All right. So on that note, we got some changes to the Discord. We got some brand new changes to the Discord. We got some brand new updates. And I'm so happy to have both Soul and Courtney here together as we're here. We are the official Right Now volunteer team, Discord team right now, whatever you want to call it. Courtney and Soul are both mods and moderators, and not just the Discord, as you all know, Soul, but also on the YouTube channel and also Twitch. Any affiliated things with Right Now, we are moderating and doing all the things. So I wanted to make sure that that was called out first. Yeah, so as we think about the Discord, and I wanted to have a moment for us to have a conversation about it. I had previously never used Discord before. Before I launched the WriteNow community, I had never used Discord. I had maybe hopped in once or twice, but I hadn't actively used it. And I think by popular request, a bunch of people were asking for the Discord when we launched it. Yeah, I know, Courtney. I remember you're definitely one of the ones. And remember how to do my research to launch it. When we launched the Discord back in October, it was probably one of the most successful, beneficial things we've launched for the community last year. In like since we've really grown. The Discord's incredible. And I mean, like, I'd love to hear from you guys, Courtney. So, like, what do you guys like about the Discord? Or like, what are things like value that you guys get from it specifically?
I like that it extends the community feel that this that the Right Now offers. It
Mhm.
extends that community feel. And
Mhm.
when I'm working at witching hours, I know that while people might not be awake, I can still put it in there and feel like whatever I'm working on, I could just be like, hey, like, how does this sound? Anybody want to look at this for me? And know that like when I wake up, there'll be 4 people who'll be like, hey, I got you. Let's help. And then that's awesome to me.
What about you, Sol?
Kind of the same thing. It definitely feels like a community. I will
Mhm.
admit I don't interact with the Discord as much, but I do lurk through it,
Mhm.
and I see people posting like all the time, and it's just awesome seeing that people are connecting. Like every once in a while I'll see like the open publications, which I tend to look at that because it's like, hey,
Mhm.
maybe I could like submit something there, and like even if I can't, somebody else might. People will share different memes that are sometimes just funny, and then sometimes they're actually kind of useful, or it gives somebody like an idea for something. And I mean, it's like this is supposed to be something silly, but it's actually neat. So
Yeah, and I absolutely love that. And I think what happens, especially when we're so busy, I think there's going to be times where we use it a lot, and there's times where we won't use it as much just because like we're busy and things happen. And so I know you're wrangling not only with the computer but with a certain feathery companion who's hesitantly agreed to host our writing competition.
yeah, I'm dealing with a lot.
So I think it was so important for us to really be able to touch on the Discord, especially as a community tool. Like, I'll see how much I can blow it up here, but so you guys can see what we've done is we've organized the Discord completely, so it has a brand new layout. If you haven't checked out the Discord since I updated it last night. Essentially, I was like, make sure it's not too big. I was like, that's probably good. So if you haven't checked it out since yesterday, and I'll be posting the Discord update later today, but essentially it should have a whole new look. I've tried to leverage emojis to really make them stand out. What we're really trying to do is we're trying to clean up where do things go. So that way, like, you're like, okay, I want to advertise my book. Where do I go for that? Or I want to post YouTube videos. Where do I go for that? Or I want to see what Right Now is doing. So we've added a lot more features to it. We've added things like we now have a Right Now link section. So if you just want to see things that specifically for Right Now, we have here. We've now cleaned up. We, like Courtney said, we have our new, we made the book club now accessible to all members. So all members will now see the book club, which is super cool, by the way. I think this is going to make it more accessible. Obviously, everyone's very excited about Faded Fantasy. Well, we know Faded Fantasy is probably like the #1 most popular channel. Actually, I have a really good one. I have a great question. I'm going to post it in the chat right now. I wonder if everybody can guess what they think is the most popular channel in the Discord.
I feel like I can't answer that because you told us.
I know. I already told you guys. I'm sure. Okay, so if you're watching the stream or if you're watching this on the replay, what channel do you think is the most popular in the Discord? I'm going to post a poll. What channel is most popular in the Discord? All right, and let's see. We'll do all right, and I will say social media or all right, perfect. I just started a fun poll. I'm curious to see if people can guess what they think is the most popular channel in the Discord. We'll see. We'll see. I'll give you a couple options. So we have, like I said, we have a number of new things. I've really tried to clean this up, right? So that way, if you want to see, if you want to interact with the Discord a certain way, you don't have to wade through everything. You can choose the chapter that applies to you, right? Maybe you just want to talk and you want to have casual conversations. Or maybe you want to do things you actually want to write and you want to do writing related stuff. We've now consolidated all of like the writing techniques, the writing stuff, things about Right Now streams are all going to be consolidated in Right Now. Or maybe you want to get help. Maybe you need feedback for a story, a script, art, a song, whatever it is. There's now a specific feedback section. So that way it makes it a little clearer on if you need feedback for something, there's one area for it. We have our break time, which everyone loves our mascots. Our mascot channel is always really, really cute. And then we have services and promo and fun and games and our alternative writing formats. So I just want to point that out to you guys. I know there's way too many channels for us to deep dive into all the channels here on the stream. But I just wanted to do a overview for everyone who's watching right now, because we want Discord to feel like it's like the extension of the community outside the live streams, right? You want to come and hang out in the live streams and come feel more motivated, hang out with others. You guys know we're streaming every day, right? We're almost at 500. But let's say we're not streaming, there's more ways to interact. Now, in addition to what we have on the Discord, we're adding a whole new additional layer to the Discord in terms of events. And we're adding 2 new weekly events to the Discord. We've started soft launching it the past couple of weeks, but we've now added 2 new events that we are going to be doing in the Discord on a weekly basis. We're testing it out. We're seeing how it feels. And the goal is for you guys to be able to interact and come hang out, but make it feel like less casual or make it feel more casual. So you're like, hey, I don't feel like going on the stream right now, but I also want to hang out in the Discord, right? Let's see. So we have 2 events, both of you guys. So I'll let you kick off yours first.
So on Saturday nights, I run a Write Chat, which is basically like Wednesday nights, except a little less formal.
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday nights, we come in with the intent of we have something we're going to talk about. Even if we don't know until like 2 seconds before we go live, we know we're going to be talking about something.
Mm-hmm.
My Write Chat is a little different. It's a lot more casual. It's more of a hey, come in, chat about writing. Hey, do you need help with the story? Do you want to talk about plot lines? Do you need some help with like this kind of style? Just various things like that. There's no actual writing sprints, but I am actually kind of pulling a Kaufman, and I share my own screen, and I share whatever I'm working on. The past few weeks, it's been my fan fiction rewrite, but it's not always going to be that either, because I have something more pressing I need to work on, or I finish that one because I'll probably be done maybe in a couple weeks. But yeah, it's just a more casual version of Wednesday nights. It is on Saturday nights at 6 p.m. Eastern. I may be changing that to 7 p.m. Eastern, depending on the events that happen on Saturdays, so that people have a better chance of coming in. I'm usually on there for a couple hours. I think the longest I've been on there was about 3 hours, and that's about the max that I'll do. And that's more because it's a time constraint for myself. But anybody who's interested, you're more than welcome to join. There's actual chat. There's an actual voice chat for it in the Discord called the Write Chats. So just pop in on a Saturday, come say hi. If you need help, definitely come do it. It's Discord exclusive though, so don't be looking on the YouTube for that.
And I think what the great thing is that a lot of the times our weekend streams aren't always writing sprint streams. And I think, but sometimes writers are available on the weekends, and that's when they actually have the energy to write. So I think giving this another opportunity to be able to write on weekends is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm fully on board with that. And I think it's a really, really cool thing. So for those of you guys who also want to be writing on Saturdays, maybe because like you work during the week or you have family responsibilities during the week, and Saturdays or Sundays is like when you got time to write, this is going to be the thing for you. Or maybe you just want to hang out with the others and do other things in the back. Like I said, it's a co-working session.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we've had random conversations whenever there's been other people. So.
Awesome. And then this kind of goes hand in hand so with what you're doing. But Courtney, I'm going to let you talk about what you want to launch with the with our Discord events.
Yeah. So I was running the idea past Cough about doing like Friday nights doing reading sprints for the book club. So a place that like if you guys are struggling to read the book during the month, Friday nights I'll be on Discord reading and then doing reading sprints. So it'll be like 25 minutes reading, and then I'll take a few minutes break and we can talk about what we just read. We can post into the discussion page about questions, comments, concerns about what we're reading, and then go right back into the writing sprint. Or the reading sprint, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I think more opportunities to be able to try to like read consistently.
Yeah.
Going to be super cool.
Yeah. And it's gonna teach me to stop, make a comment about it, like to discuss it, and then go back to reading, because I struggle with that.
And so we are still finalizing the exact timing, and we're still finalizing the logo, but I think the name is actually pretty awesome.
Yeah, Friday night.
What do you want to call it?
The Friday nights, cozy with Courtney.
I was like, that's perfect. I think that's awesome. So it'll be a great way for if you guys are just like feeling like you just want to get some reading in, or you want to get some reading sprints in, or maybe you want to be reading the book that we're in the book club, or maybe you're like Courtney and you're like 20 books ahead. I don't know. Who knows?
Right. Yeah. Yep. That was just what I was running past the community. And it would also be similar to Souls. It will be a strictly Discord situation. And you don't have to be on camera. You don't have to be in the voice chat if you don't want to. If you just want to come hang out and like force yourself to like, hey, I have time. I can put this in my schedule. This is when I'm going to read the book club book, or this is when I'm going to read a book. Use it for that. That's fine.
Yeah, I should have mentioned
guys, I'm telling you,
you don't have to be on camera or anything either.
Yeah.
And I think guys, something to think about, and this is something I learned just by live streaming, by the act of putting myself into a weekly cadence on something. For me, it was a daily cadence, but by the act of putting ourselves into a weekly cadence, if you commit yourself to showing up, you're going to do the thing, right? So if you're going to show up to a reading sprint, you're probably going to be more encouraged to read. And if your goal is like, hey, I want to read more, what a perfect thing with others who are also want to read more, whether that's reading with Courtney or trying to get more like consistent writing in on the weekends with Soul.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I think this is like the whole next thing that we're really elevating with the community, because I think, hey, the more ways we can interact, the better it is. So we're entering into the next era of the Discord. Yay. And I know we saw some questions. I think I saw Mast. I think you had some good call outs here for ideas, by the way. You were asking about a place to talk about movies, not just a place to talk about movies, but especially the writing aspect of movies we have seen. Since this is a writing channel, movie discussions, favorite quotes, spoiler free reviews, etc. I love that. What I'm going to tell you, Mass Toaster, is in the Discord, go to the feedback channel and drop your ideas there. So that's what we always do, because we get some really cool ideas. I usually do the Discord updates on Mondays. So that's when I'll queue up new. That's usually when I'll make the decision either Mondays or every other Monday is when we add new things to the Discord. So I would say go throw them in the feedback, not the feedback, the
Yep.
Discord
Feedback.
feedback. I was like, I should
Yeah.
probably reword that so it doesn't get confusing. But at the top of the chat at the top of the server for a Discord feedback, go throw those ideas in there so that way we can add them. Awesome. Courtney Soul, any other thoughts on Discord? I think I covered everything.
Yeah. I love the icons. When I saw that last night, I was like, oh, that's so cute. Like I like
it a little cleaner.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. And then on that note, we're going to be moving right along into our next and final event. So Courtney, I'll let you get going as we hop into the next one. Thank you for joining us and looking forward to some more reading.
Yep. Bye everybody.
All right, and wonderful. So we're going to be kicking it off with everybody's favorite, Faded Fantasy. Who all is doing Faded Fantasy here as we get into the Faded Fantasy competition? All right, let me cue this up. And I was like, I don't think we actually have a super big one for Faded Fantasy, but I know we've had some questions as of late, some things for Faded Fantasy. So for everybody who's participating in Faded Fantasy, if you have questions, drop them in the chat. For those of you guys who don't know, Faded Fantasy competition, we are in it. How long have they been open now?
I think it's been maybe a
has
week.
it been 2 weeks or 1 week?
I think it's
only
maybe,
been a week,
I want to
yeah.
say a week.
1 week, it might be 2. Yeah. Actually, I think it's been 2 weeks because we went for a month. So for those of you participating in the Faded Fantasy competition, we got 2 weeks. So you got 2 more weeks left for submissions. The submission deadline is Sunday, May 18th. That's going to be super cool, my friends. We have so many writers wanting to participate, and it's going to be such a cool experience, right? Whether you are going to try to go on to become a semifinalist or whether you're going to try to become a finalist. We have some really, really cool things lined up for this competition in all different aspects. Now, for any of you who might not be as familiar with it, linked down in the YouTube description below is the info packet, the guidelines, the rules, the submission. It's all the links that you need for you to go learn more and check out more about this writing competition. So with that being said, we wanted to take some time and answer a few questions. So actually, I think one of the first questions was your question when you were asking about pronunciations.
Right, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think for a second.
You're like, what was that? You're like, that was 100 questions ago. So like I know, so one of the questions you had asked is if people have like unique names and they need to have a pronunciation guide, can and where should that be included? Yes, it can be included. And I think we determined on it can be between the title page and the first writing page. So that'd be the place to do it. And then I know other questions that we had seen. Let me throw up here. Let's see, other questions. I had them here at one point in time. Okay, so we had some additional ones. When Kaufman can go find where you put them at. With me for a second. Maybe. Okay. So the first question that had been posted in the Discord: how are we going to track word count? I know we've heard feedback from some writers that word count might be tracked differently, or sometimes word count comes across differently in different programs. We're going to be using Microsoft Word for the word count tool officially for the competition. So if anybody wants to know how many words, or if they're like, hey, is my story going to be over 2,000? 2,000 words is the max. It starts on the first word of the story and the last word of the story. Does not include the title page, does not include the submission requirements, does not include a dialect guide or a pronunciation guide, right? It is just the 1,500 to 2,000 words itself of the story. So that was one question we had. And then we had another question for writers outside the US. The question was, certain punctuation and grammar standards are different. If you are not in any, if you're not in the US market, because like, let's say outside of the US, like for instance, quotation marks. Quotation marks are different. The types of quotation marks outside the US, a lot of times it's used as a single quotation mark. As compared to US, where we're used to the double quotes. And that's just something that's standard on different regions. So what we're saying is, if you live outside of the US, you can format it. You can use your grammar and punctuation formatting based on the standards in your region. So we're making that accessible. You can use your formatting in terms of punctuation and grammar that is consistent with your region's standards. Now, to clarify, margins, things like the normal submission guidelines, those will still be the same, right? So you're still going to have the same margins. You're still going to have the same spacing. You're still going to have the same submission requirements. But certain things that might change on region would be like styles of punctuation and other certain formatting things. So if there's any specific questions, I would say just ask us. Shoot us a message if there's any like specific things. But we wanted to make it accessible to our to any of our writers outside of the US. So yep. And then I know we also had the question of when will the live stream be? And I can say is it will be accessible to our anyone outside the US as well, and to our US market. So the live streams we'll probably try to do earlier in the day, assuming that we can get all the logistics with everyone who's involved. So we're going to try to get it early enough in the day. Well, not being super early, not too late. So that way everyone can be involved with the competition. So, yeah. So what other questions came to mind? It was like, I think those are the biggest ones. How's Pro coming along?
I wasn't able to get to him today, but no, just anybody who is familiar with Blender, please, for the love of God, message me. Because I figured it out and then I forgot what I did, and now literally the only thing left is just to finish one part of his animation set and get the UV pasted on, and then I will actually be able to share pictures of Crow in the Discord.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's super cool.
I'm not going to share the videos of his animations because I do want those to wait until he finally shows up. Mm-hmm. But once these last two things are done, I will actually be able to start getting him to cooperate within the stream. And if I can get him to cooperate, that might mean I can get others to cooperate if we have more beings come in later on.
Yay, I'm so excited. And we're really bringing Crow to the next level this time, my friends.
Oh, yeah.
Just you guys wait. If you thought Jezebel was scary, I mean, I don't know, maybe Mr. Crow will be friendly.
Watching him is just fun.
Maybe Mr. Crow will be friendly at times when he doesn't want to peck your eyes out.
This gave me some ideas for some animations, and I don't like that.
Oh my goodness, we are going to have so much fun with it. And I know we had another concern with our writing, with the final Face Off. So for those of you who are in the community for Freaky Friday, you know that we only did the semifinalists, and then we just read the semifinalists, and then we voted on stream. That's what we did last year for Freaky Friday. This year, we've added another layer of complexity where we have the semifinalists. If you make it to the semifinalists, then you make it to the stream, and you also have the potential to get your story published in the anthology, the Faded Fantasy Anthology. We'll announce the Faded Fantasy Anthology. I'll announce another update for that probably next week. But for the competition itself, we've added a new thing for the finalists. The finalists, there's going to be the top 4 finalists are going to be selected, and they're going to be competing in the finalists a writing challenge called the Write-Off. Now, I'm not going to share what it is. I'm not going to share what it is because we want to make sure that we can create an unbiased, fun experience. But for anyone who's concerned, like, oh, am I going to have to do something like crazy on stream? No, you won't be required to. You won't be required to physically. Okay, actually, I should like make sure that I have all my details in a row. What I can say is that the writing challenge is going to be based on writing skill level and merit. So that way we know that the finalists, the ones who win Faded Fantasy, won it based off skill. So that's what we can say for certain. It's going to be a writing challenge that's based off skill. It's not going to be based off your stream presence. It's not going to be based off it's not going to be based off a popularity contest. So the writing challenge will be purely based off skill. So I wanted to put that out there for anyone who is concerned about that final Write-Off challenge. So did I explain that correctly?
I believe so.
Yes, so that's what I got there. I might release a couple more details next week, but we'll see. All right, my friends, and I know we saw a couple comments come through in the chat, so let me just touch on a couple comments that popped up. Cheryl, you said, I came up with an idea I love for the Faded Fantasy competition, but don't have the confidence to participate. Cheryl, you should totally submit confidence or no, like, because here's the thing. You don't know whether you have a good story or not until you write it, right? And even if your story does or doesn't make it, like, how do you know? You could have an incredible idea, but then because you're like, hey, I don't have confidence in it, that maybe then it never gets, you don't even give yourself the opportunity to try. And we promise you, like, the semifinalists are also going to be getting their feedback from the judges. So the semifinalists are all going to grow as writers just by being involved in the competition.
It's not just the semifinals. Anyone who enters is technically getting experience.
Yeah, you're right.
Writer.
Anyone who's, yeah, you're right. I was like, I said the semifinals, but anybody who enters is getting feedback in the competition. So you're getting free feedback just by participating in a competition that costs you $0 to participate in. So, and I think that's a huge thing, definitely. Let's see. And what else? Yeah, and we'll also have a lot of writers who are writing outside of their genre as well. So, let's see. And I think I saw a couple more questions. Does the count against the word count? If I answered that with the pronunciation guide. Maddie, like, favorite is my worst enemy in America. Thank God. Yeah. So and this is actually a really good question about differences. If favorite is spelled one way in the US market, but then it's spelled differently in like a British US, or it's spelled differently in a different part, we're not going to mark you down for that spelling if it's spelled a certain way in your part of the world. So that is a really, really good call out. But if you spelled favorite Foorite, and that is not spelled correctly in any language, then that would be that might be a point. So, but that's a good call out, Maddie. And let's see, just got a stream. Yeah, White said, what I would recommend is I'd recommend watching the replay of the stream because we went over a lot today. We've gone over a lot. Yes, we did. We did talk about the English speech marks. We did. So we're making it accessible to both the US and the international audience. So you're able to write in wherever your region is that you're used to writing based on speech and or punctuation and style. You still got to format the document the same way as the formatting guidelines recommend, like margins, spacing, that needs to be the same. But in terms of like punctuation and grammar, if it's different specifically to your region, then you're good. And if you have any specific questions about individual like things for your region, just ask us. Drop a comment. You know how to find me. I'm stream all the time with dragons and scarecrows. So we're all in the Discord. If you have questions, or post in the Faded Fantasy Discord channel. All right. And I think I feel targeted. The rules say no bolding and underlines were necessary. Oh man. Say no bolding and underlines were necessary. I need experimentations. Yeah, I was like, I think when I said, hold on, Neil, you called out something really interesting. Let me make sure that I have this correctly. So for Faded Fantasy competition, I want to make sure that I'm answering this. So Neil, you were speaking to bolding, underlining, and italics, which is a form of emphasis. Let me pull up the fiction packet. Okay, so for the use for formatting logistics, and this is what we're saying. So no, we're not saying that you can't use bold, italics, or underline. We're not saying you can't, right? Like, I feel targeted, right? The rules say no bolding and underlines were necessary. I need experimentations. Where it's not saying that you can't use it, but we're just saying use them when necessary, because we don't want writers to overuse some of these things, which a lot of these things, bold, italics, and underline, are really meant to be an emphasis to the story itself, right? So if like there's moments where like, yeah, I got to bold it like to really make it stand out, absolutely go for it. If there's something where it's like, yeah, use the italics, absolutely go for it. But if like the entire story is like bold and italics and underlined, that's a little different. And I know specifically for you, my friend, because I know you like to do a lot of experimentation. Yeah. So we're saying yes, you can, but don't be excessive. So good call out there. No. Yes, Mass Toaster. If you lose the competition, Mr. Crow will peck your eyes out. That is exactly what will happen. So you better win or else. Or maybe he'll give you some new eyes. Who knows? He tends to eat a lot of things. We don't really even know what to expect from Mr. Crow.
Yeah, I work with him and I don't know what to expect.
I don't even know what to expect moment for moment, and I try to write him. Oh man, so awesome. That's always fun. Master, what if that's how I spell it in my own language, the language of Kaufman? We are adhering to language standards, not self-created language standards.
Okay, well, I have something to ask then. I do have words that were created for my story, but they're part of the pronunciation guide. So, would that affect it? It's only like 3 words, but
That's a good question. I mean, I think if it's part of the pronunciation guide and it's intentional, like I've created this word for the world of the story, that should be fine. I think it's more like, all right, we're not like. What we don't want to see is we don't want to see stories where there's a bunch of things that are misspelled as a result of a lack of editing, as a result of a lack of proofreading, right? I think that's the thing we want to stay away from, right? The story's got to go through a certain level of revision by somebody else who's not ourselves, is really what we recommend. And I mean, granted, if you don't have anyone else look at it, you can still submit it. It's just if what we find as writers is we can't be our own writer, judge, and jury in all cases, right? We're going to miss things. And that's why it's always a community experience. So, yeah. Can we write the story in Elvish? All right, Mouse Toaster. Only you can write the story in Elvish, but then you're going to have to come onto the stream just to read it.
I think I kind of have to agree on that. If you're gonna write it in a language like that and like nobody else can speak it, no, come on and like speak it yourself, please.
There's going to just be a stream where nobody understands it, but Mouse Toaster's like expression is just so animated that we'll just understand the story. Oh man. All right, my friends. That's all we got for today. We've gone over and we got to move right along. But definitely if you have more questions, drop a comment, drop a question, go chill in the Discord. So many new updates. And that is what we got for you today. I'll be back tomorrow with another earlier writing sprint stream, 11 a.m. Pacific, and 2 p.m. Eastern. So we're getting a little bit of an earlier stream tomorrow. Come join us. I'll be here. And that's all that I got for you. Thanks for coming in, my friends. I'm Kaufman, and this is
Chat Soul.
all right, and we'll catch you on the next stream.
Right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Right now.
Right now.